Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Daniel Dukey. Dr. the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, political leader of the People's National Movement and leader of the opposition and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Franklin Khan, Chairman of the People's National Movement, Mr. Ashton Ford, General Secretary of the party, and, oh, I should never have done this, but His Worship, the Mayor of Point Fortin, Alderman Clyde Paul, whom I should have addressed first. Deputy political leaders, Rohan Sinanan, Joe Newell-Williams, and Honorable Marlene McDonald. Other party officials, my dear colleagues, the Honorable Fitzgerald Jeffrey, MP for LeBray, my colleague, Dr. Amory Brown, MP for Digger Martin Central, my colleague, Nailiang Hippolyte, MP for Laventille West, Senator, the Honorable Terence Dale Singh, Councillor Abden Mason, other councillors, aldermen, members of the People's National Movement Executive in Point Fortin, Pastor Franklin Howard, thank you very much. Good night to all our visitors. I see a lot of people in the audience from outside of Point Fortin. Good night, especially to the people of LeBray. I will share this with you, and the people of Faizabad. I know you're here. Faizabad, you know, Hillary Clinton had said that it takes a village. And special congratulations go out to you because you've given this country a president. Congratulations to you. And of course, to the people of Point Fortin, a very special good night to you all. And of course, our listening audience at home as well. Good night to you too, sir. I know that my colleague Fitzgerald Jeffrey paid homage to the excellent talent in Point, but I think you forgot out the Mr. Eric Taylor. I think he's claiming that he's from Point Fortin now. The Pink Panther, the Calypso monarch of the world. I understand the origin is Chatham in the constituency of Point Fortin. My friends, you know that Venezuela is just 7 miles away from home, from Caracas, that is, in the constituency of Point Fortin, that we share waters and some very, very valuable resources as well. May I extend my, and certainly the P.N.M's, deepest condolences to the family, to the government, and to the people of Venezuela on the passing of their leader, President Hugo Chavez. Our countries have shared a very long, extensive, and fruitful relationship, and our prayers and our well wishes are with them all, the people of Venezuela, tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you back to May 28th, 2010. And this is the Prime Minister's address to the nation and her 24 new ministers, stewards of the nation's future, they were called, as they embarked on their version of national service. And these are the Prime Minister's words at her swearing-in ceremony. Dedication of all energies towards ensuring that people's needs are met, serving every citizen with the same dedication regardless of their political affiliation. How that song is impressive, eh? That they would disregard which party any qualified individual comes from, or what ethnic group or religion. All that matters is competency. You could believe that was said? That they'll be accountable to the people, no mediocrity. These are her words, you know, the Honorable Prime Minister. No arrogance. Honesty will be a key qualification. Can you believe that? I'm sure you want to cry. Transparency and accountability. Return sound traditional values of ethics and morals back into government. You ever hear a joke? No room for egos and personal agendas, no self-glorification. And then the PM chose to quote, of all people, Markandal Dagger. The people are the government, she said. We are the servants of the people. We work for the people diligently and always in their interests. So what do you make of that garbage? Utter rubbish. Lies and lies. What a shameful bunch they are. And why? Because they've already all proven themselves wrong. What was the country expecting from these people? Certainly not us in the P.N.M, because we knew them all too well. But the country, innocent as they were expecting effective government. Very pragmatic, given the already prevailing tough economic times, but they were expecting a successful economic growth strategy, commanding the confidence of the people, something almost bipartisan. And that was the kind of level of agreement and a way forward for Trinidad and Tobago that we were expecting. But did we get that? We were expecting some continuation of policy as well. Let's face it, some of the policies must have been good. And therefore, good policy ought to outlast any government for the good of the nation. But that did not happen. And that could only have happened if you were well-intentioned. But well-intentioned, they were not. And if bad policy existed, then that should have been complemented with good. And then we would have expected some kind of good policy coming forward. But what have we gotten? We've gotten an absence of policy overall. Moreover, we expected a healthy, harmonious, and productive engagement with the private sector. The benefits which we have seen through an influx of capital investments, both local and foreign. Have you seen any of that? And my friend Jeffrey, you noted there is no more SABIC to come. So that the expectation that government would provide an environment and a policy that was attractive to the private sector, both foreign and local, and that the private sector, would create wealth. But there has been no policy, there has been no opportunity, and there's been a total lack of confidence by the business sector. This is how this government has failed us. We expected a deliberate and a definitive approach and focus to CARICOM, give more then leadership role in the region and the region's importance to us, particularly for the export of our products. But we didn't get that. We expected an engagement, a genuine engagement with civil society. Well, we didn't get that, and you could talk to Verna St. Rose about that one. Crime under them, they said, would have dissipated. And look at it. This country has been taken for a ride. A very chilling ride in an atmosphere that could only be called nightmarish. That's what it is. The harsh reality, ladies and gentlemen, is that this country is in crisis. You agree with me? Yes. Total crisis. That's the background of where we are today. But I take you a few weeks late, and I only really want to talk about Point Fortin business tonight. Just after the election, and I lost, and I thanked you. I sent you through the newspapers a pamphlet. I have a copy of it here. You see my picture on it there. I thank you, and I reminded you that the P.N.M, that this was temporary, and that the People's National Movement will be back in government. And you know that. The People's National Movement will be back. And we ask you to remain truthful and faithful to the P.N.M and true to the cause. And you have, and you will be rewarded. The P.N.M government will be back in power. But on the back of that statement, we had been in office, you understand, for just 2.5 years. On the back of that statement, I had listed the work in progress in Point Fortin. And I want you to see and question yourselves, where are we now? So the Coronation Park Regional Sporting Facilities, $30 million approved by us to start July 2010. Where are we with that? Has not started. I know that the borough intends to do some work, but central government, there has been no dice with that. The Point Fortin Civic Center, contract awarded by us, $13 million, demolition completed under us, project completion date 2011. Some work has started, but very slow, little progress, and we don't expect to see it whilst we are in office. Mahika Oval, funds approved by local government, $9 million. You think we're getting that again? Not at all. But the borough continues to work on it, and they've done their regrassing, and I know that the grounds are complete and are in use, at least the grounds are. The UTT campus, site approved by Cabinet and to commence in 2011. I have written, I have spoken to the minister responsible for tertiary education. All kind of campuses being put all through Trinidad and Tobago. The fact is, this government is not interested in educating the people of the southwestern peninsula. That is Point Fortin, Labrie, and Faizabad. They do not understand the development process. You speak of a highway, but they got to realize a highway is simply not enough. You've got to prepare the business people, you've got to prepare the people for that development, but they do not understand development. The water taxi service from San Fernando to Point Fortin, which was due by December 2011. We heard about a feasibility study. What we heard after? Not justified. Long story short, you're not getting a water taxi service as well. The Lakeview Housing Project. Project was almost completed under us, and we should have started distributing some. But that all should have been distributed by December 2010. My understanding is that the contractor is going to hand over 100 houses soon. And we want to the HDC, and we want to say to the minister and to the HDC that we are watching closely, that these houses are for the people of Point Fortin, and that it will not go to any of the 300,000 unidentified persons which the Minister of Legal Affairs is speaking of. There shall be no mischief. And this will not coincidentally increase your party support in the area. We will object strenuously to that. And a strict warning, therefore, goes out to the minister. We want to make sure that all our fire victims, their needs are met, all of the disabled, the senior citizens, and it rightfully belongs to the people of Point Fortin. Then the highway to Point Fortin, shrouded in controversy, delayed and over budget, improperly financed. Why? Because that highway project was to be a haven for corruption. Intended, and so it is. The route, my concern is the people in Point Fortin. The route is not yet finalized, with some shifting to be done. The list of affected persons not complete. Negotiations for compensation still hanging. No offer of alternative housing, only monetary compensation. What can that do for them? Most persons are involved in agriculture, and there's no consideration for replacement of such lands. What then is going to be the new source of income for those persons? So that generally our people are being shortchanged. There's no word on job creation for the people of Point Fortin in that highway project. No word on some contracting to our small and medium-sized businesses in Point Fortin. And meetings are continually being held in Debe. We want Point Fortin business discussed in Point Fortin.